For those curious, there's actually never a real reason to go into the cave or the woods. There's items available in each that can be useful if you've been lucky and had the key appear while you're working your way through the game, but there's nothing essential to beating Jason. Roaming around in the woods just wastes time and leaves you open to get attacked by wolves as nightfall settles in. If you follow a certain pattern of navigating the pathways, you'll find Jason's cabin. If you have the key, you can get in and usually find an axe, depending on if you've actually read the message that tells you it's there. Otherwise, you'll be roaming around an empty cabin. Navigate the pathways wrong and you might get yourself confused and lost. Meanwhile, the Jason alarm will sound at some point and you might not have enough time to find your way out to save whoever he's after. Also keep in mind that it is possible to encounter Jason in the woods as well as his hidden cabin. He can appear there randomly just like in the rest of the game. I've seen it both ways. Fighting Jason's mom inside the cave is purely optional, not a requirement. Despite the AVG Nerd's review, the cave is not nearly as confusing as he makes it out to be. While it's recommended to have lit all fireplaces and earn the flashlight before you enter the cave, you can easily navigate it by paying attention to the stones running along the upper half of the room. From the entrance, walk to the right till you see the two disfigured stones, hit up on the D-pad, go left and hit up on the next pair, and if you have the key, Jason's mom awaits. Since the game figuratively has 3 levels, or days in this case, which correspond to each of Jason's 3 lives, you can actually fight and beat Mrs. Voorhees for a different item once per day. Day 1's reward is a machete, which again, useful, but in my personal opinion, not really worth going after. At some point it'll randomly appear as you're walking around lighting the fireplaces anyway. Beating her on day 2 will reward you with a sweater, following the storyline from the movie Friday the 13th Part 2, in which one of the counselors wears it to fool Jason into thinking she's his mother so as not to be harmed. Just make sure to fight Mrs. Voorhees with one of the female counselors so one of them can win and wear the sweater. If a male wears it, it's only half effective, and make no mistake. If you're a female wearing the sweater and attempt to fight Jason, don't think he's just going to stand there and let you work him over. He will fight you and he will kill you. The sweater really only makes you immune to Jason if the female counselor wearing it is not the current playable character. So essentially, you could take the time to fight Jason's mom with a female counselor, win the sweater, and put her away in one of the cabins unharmed in case you need to switch to her later. But again, not really worth doing if you ask me, as you can effectively beat Jason just as easily without this tactic. Beating Jason's mom on day 3 is actually worth taking the time to do, as killing her rewards you with the other most deadly weapon in the game, the pitchfork. It's just as strong as the torch and can quickly do a number on Jason. Beware though that like her son, Mrs. Voorhees grows stronger after each death, and she's not just going to sit there as you take the pitchfork from her. She will swoop down on your ass up to 3 times in a row before pausing and allowing you a couple of free shots. Again, the item is not essential to beating Jason unless your counselor who holds the torch dies. Only at that point do I consider it mandatory. But if you want to pursue it, I recommend doing so with a counselor who has either the machete or the axe, and I would also recommend a few red vials of medicine because this battle is quite possibly the hardest in the game. Backing up to day number 2 here, we jumped ahead a little bit to show you the Jason's mother sequences. Day 2 inside the cabin, the battles with Jason, you'll notice his movements are a little quicker, a little more precise. Still nothing too difficult. Use the same evading tactics and counter with your own attacks to drive him away. Jumping ahead to Jason's second death here, happened to encounter him outside the cabin. Guy's equipped with the axe here, which is a good weapon. Not quite as deadly as the torch or the pitchfork, but a good weapon nonetheless. I think Jason's power was probably about 2/3 down at this point, in which case he will stay in your face until one of you drops. This closes out day number 2, and day number 3, which is the final day, now begins. And at this point, day number 3, if you've done everything you've needed to do and you've got your counselors equipped with good weapons, mainly the torch, you can just kind of hang around and wait for Jason to strike and then go finish him off. If you feel compelled to go after his mother and get the pitchfork, it's up to you. It's not really a necessity again unless the person with the torch happens to die. Day 3 cabin battles with Jason are by far the most ferocious. As you can see, he is very pissed off by now. Doesn't like getting knocked on his ass twice in a row, and he pulls out all the stops, and you've got to be on your defensive game and basically not get hit. And following up on a point I alluded to earlier about the sweater, you can see Chrissy is wearing the sweater obtained from Jason's mother from day number 2, and this is not stopping him from trying to kill her. So keep that in mind. If you plan to use the sweater, make sure that the female counselor wearing it is safely tucked away in a cabin and is not the playable character. AVG Nerd also alluded to the music in the game, pretty repetitive soundtrack that you have here. I could see, I guess, for some it would get annoying, and if so, turn the shit down and crank up some that kicks. And that about does it. If you play smart and execute, you can finish this game in 30 minutes or less. Have fun and happy gaming. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up, man. I think you got the wrong review, bud. Hang on a second.